When I was a sex ed teacher, masturbation was never a topic that a school district would request for me to come in and teach, but it was always a topic that was brought up by the teens themselves. Teens would ask me the same questions all of the time. Does masturbating make your dick fall off? Can you masturbate too much? If I masturbate, will I grow hair on my palms? Separating the myths from the facts around masturbation is important and necessary in order to stop the spread of misinformation. It can also reduce the stigma and shame that is oftentimes associated with masturbating. Explaining these myths at some point during the middle or high school age range will ensure that your kid has accurate information. If your family values, your religious and cultural beliefs don't make room for masturbating, you can share those values and why you believe it after you debunk these myths. Some parents who have very strong beliefs against masturbation tend to lead the conversation with those beliefs first. And then their child never receives accurate information and may unknowingly spread misinformation, which then perpetuates these myths. I'll give an example of how I recommend to share your family values towards the end of this video. I'm Kathleen, and I make videos for parents on how to have the modern day sex talks. Without further ado, parents, debunk these 5 masturbation myths with your teen when you have the masturbation talk. Masturbating too much makes you grow hair on your palms. It's a myth. I got asked this question 95% of the time when I was teaching sex ed. It's hard to find where this rumor originated from, but thanks to science, we know that there are no hair follicles on the soles of our feet and the palms of our hands. Therefore, there's no way to grow hair there, even if you masturbate every day. Now, to go along with this myth, students would ask me, will their dick fall off if they masturbate too much? I always responded with, what do you think? And then we'd have a little talk about what exaggeration means. Now, if a person is masturbating too forcefully or creates an irritation on their genitals, it will feel uncomfortable, but it's not gonna make it fall off. Masturbation makes you less likely to enjoy sexual activity with a partner. It's a myth. Most adults would say that they enjoy sexual activity with a partner and they also enjoy masturbating. The two aren't mutually exclusive. The idea that masturbation causes an individual to not enjoy partnered sexual activity as much as solo masturbation is just not true. The desire to masturbate versus the desire to engage in sexual activity with a partner is like choosing 2 completely different options off of a menu. The reasons a person would choose to masturbate versus engaging in partnered sex are widely varied. But it doesn't mean that their masturbation habits correlate to less enjoyment of partnered sex. What it means is that when they masturbate, they have a pretty reliable routine that gets them to their desired goal in a desired time frame. So when they go outside of that habitual routine and have partnered sex, it's going to feel different than what they are used to, which may make it seem like it's less satisfying. But if they enter the partnered sex knowing that it's going to be different, and different doesn't mean less satisfying, just different, then their expectations are going to be more aligned to the activity. If you're finding this video to be helpful, you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to, I would appreciate it. It's a myth that only teens and adults masturbate. Our adult brains associate masturbation with sexual pleasure. Therefore, the idea that a child would masturbate doesn't quite make sense to us. The definition of masturbation is touching one's own genitals for pleasure. So what does pleasure mean? How do we define what's a pleasurable feeling? In order to better understand what I mean when I say young children masturbate, think about this. If you were to go and get a massage, how would you describe that feeling or that rubbing of the muscle? Would you say it's enjoyable or even a pleasurable feeling? Or if you scratched an itch, could you say it feels really good to scratch it? The same applies to young children masturbating. They're just touching a part of their body that feels good to touch. It just feels pleasurable. Only people who masturbate watch porn is a definite myth. Let's turn that around. Is porn only made for masturbation? No. Do a lot of adults watch porn when masturbating? Yes. Masturbation isn't only reserved to adults who watch porn. There's actually a lot of adults masturbating while listening to or reading erotic romance novels. Just like the porn industry, the erotic fiction industry is also a billion-dollar industry. Porn is adult entertainment and intended to sexually arouse the viewer, so the connection to masturbation is there. But it's not the only thing getting adults off. There's even a population who masturbate just using their imagination. If you're in a healthy relationship, you don't need to masturbate. It's a myth. A healthy relationship does not distinguish between masturbators and non-masturbators. There are some individuals who will say that if the relationship is fulfilling all of the needs of the partners, then there is no need to masturbate. That's a lot of pressure to put on one person to fulfill every single need in a relationship. If you are in a relationship and you don't want your partner to masturbate, explore that feeling. Identify the reasons why you would prefer a partner who never masturbates. Because a healthy relationship is built on communication, trust, compromise, acceptance, empathy, and loads of other stuff. It's not usually built on a complete masturbation ban. I acknowledge that there are some religious and cultural values that do not view masturbation as an acceptable behavior. Parents who uphold these values will tend to discourage their child from masturbating by sometimes perpetuating these myths as facts. By purposely choosing to only discourage masturbation, this can create feelings of shame or guilt if a teen has masturbated or wants to. In order to share your values without creating feelings of shame or embarrassment, I will encourage you to use the some and other method. You can say something to the effect of: some people believe that masturbation is a common and acceptable behavior, while others, including myself and our insert your religious, cultural, or personal belief system, believe that masturbation is not a necessary sexual activity that anybody, including adults, should engage in. We believe this due to, and then you go on to share the reasons as to why you believe what you believe. Offering your child a variety of perspectives does not take away from your values and beliefs. It simply acknowledges that your value is one amongst many others. Please share this video with a friend who you think may find it helpful or useful. And I'm Kathleen, and I'll be back with another video on how to have the modern day sex talks.